Hello and welcome to episode 6 of the Factor 50 Football Podcast with me, Arsenal fan Michael Grantham. Make sure you're following us. We're going to shout out the socials to start with. So we're following us on YouTube and Spotify. That's where we release the podcast, I think, every week. I probably should check that.
And Amazon Music as well. We go on Amazon Music. But...
Yes. Yeah, we do that too. And we are Factor 50 Football. That's 50. So if you like the podcast, make sure you are liking, commenting, subscribing, doing those things.
Ring that bell.
I knew you were going to say that.
We don't know what that means, but ring it anyway. Any bells you
We like it.
Ring it for us.
Yeah.
Right.
And yeah, with me, as always, is the resident United fan, Adam Farrell. How you doing, mate?
Hello. Well, I think, first of all, Mike, the listeners, you've made it back from Scotland. You've survived. Would you recommend Scotland as a place to visit on holiday?
Lovely place. Yeah, lovely place. Lovely place. If you love screaming children, you should drive to Scotland with them. That's my one bit of advice, I'd say. When
you told me about this holiday, I did think, really? You're going to drive all that way? But I thought, okay, we'll see how it goes. And then you were sort of messaging me sort of each pit stop that you had to make on the
help.
How long did it take you to get to Scotland?
That's a tough question because we did it over 2 days. We planned like stops along the way, obviously. We're not going to do... It's an 8-hour drive, basically, door to door to Edinburgh. And we did... the first 4 hours was on the first day, but we left here at 10 and we got to Wigan at 8, I think. I think about 8. No, it was 8 or 9 o'clock because we recorded the last podcast after we got there. It was quite late, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So the first day, that's about what's that? 10 hours of traveling, I think.
4 hours.
And the second day, yeah, that was bad. We were all the way up the M6. We were just stopping like every time we got to anywhere we could stop. And then the second day, I think that was probably about another 10 hours because we were thinking you have to like check in on the app of the place we were staying, and I put that we'd be there at like 2 o'clock or so. Oh no, our window was 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. and we got there at 7. So every sort of hour or so, whenever we were stopping, I was going onto the app and like changing the estimated arrival time because that's out the window, that's out the window, that's out the window. Yeah, so it's probably about 20 hours of driving over 2 days to get there.
Yeah.
The journey back was a bit quicker probably, but yeah.
I loved it. I love it when travel is wrong, and it doesn't include me. It's great.
Should have flown.
Don't do a fucking trip to Scotland with 2 kids under 3.
Yeah, we got trapped on a train as well while we were there, so transport really was good. We got stuck on a little shuttle train into the centre of Edinburgh, and we couldn't get off for like half an hour, which was great, with 2 screaming kids.
So yeah, any Scottish listeners, Mike now hates you. So there you go.
Yeah, never coming back.
Say lovely.
To be fair, the one good thing was Edinburgh was lovely. So
once you got there,
it was just really far away.
And you're going to watch some football tonight, I think, live.
I am going to Fortress Emirates tonight to watch the League Cup game against Brighton, which I'm absolutely pumped about. I've not been there since December last year, I think, end of the year, to watch the last League Cup game that was there. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Going on your own?
Yeah, solo trip, lovely, peace and quiet.
Do you know what? That sounds amazing. As you get older, you realise actually doing stuff on your own is the best.
Lovely and quiet, chilled out, just sit and watch some football for a bit. I'm looking forward to it. I think it says something, doesn't it, when I'm considering a stadium full of 60,000 people quieter than my house.
Well, it is at the Emirates, mate. Way! Teed it up.
Set you up for that.
Yeah, that was easy peasy. Okay, right. We've got lots of new followers to shout out. Mike, can you do the honours, please?
Yeah, so we've got Instagram. 4 new followers on Instagram. I suppose I should start with your wife-to-be. Ali has followed us. Shout out to Ali. Was that Ali, or did you do that?
No, that was actually Ali. Yeah.
Okay. She's followed us on Instagram, so shout out to the future Mrs. Farrell, or whatever she's going to be.
I think she's going to be Mrs. Farrell, yeah.
Okay, yeah. So Ali's followed us. Lee Jackson Clark has followed us.
Very polite.
Come on, Lee. Lovely Lee. Leanne Page has followed us, who I used to work with like 12 years ago. Me and Bev used to work with her at Satchwell's. That's got to be the most random follow. I doubt. I don't think she even likes football, but there we go. Showing support.
Yeah, fair play.
And Christy, Bev's friend, she works with Christy. We went to their wedding a couple of years ago. Christy and Zach. She's followed us as well. Interestingly, her husband, who is a Man United fan, as I understand it, has not followed us. So this is your cue, Zach, to hit follow. Ring that bell.
Get that little finger out, find that bell or button, click it, follow us. And can also people who are not our friends follow us? Because this is getting sad. We're just shouting out our mates.
Well, it's good that you say that because there are lots of people I have no idea who they are. On Rick Rock TikTok, we've got a whole plethora of new followers. John Samak, Drybry91. This one's a bit ambiguous. Yeah, that's the right word, isn't it? Ambiguous.
Yeah, that is the word.
It's either Jimbo MCFC, so he's called Jimbo and he's a Man City fan, I assume, or he's Jimbom DFC and he's a Chelsea fan. So if Jimbo, what do you reckon?
Jimbo. Yeah.
Jimbo.
Yeah.
I'd like to clarify that just to make sure. So he's following us. Jeremy Thomas, 1973, is following us.
Oh, showing his age.
45 is following us. I don't know whether that's like a bit of a sexy reference, but that's funny.
We're here for it.
Lewis Flock 23 is following us. And then the last one, to be honest, just looks like a password that like is auto-generated. It's DYRHYZXK0QNU.
Can you have a go at saying that normally, please?
Dairahazuku.
No, that's a good effort.
I'm confident that's not a name, so I'm not insulting anyone.
Yeah.
I think it's just a random mix of letters and numbers.
Okay.
But I did look at that profile, and it is a genuine. It looks like it's a regular person and not a bot.
Not a bot.
Yeah. And then the last one for this week on Blue Sky, Nathan Phillips, who looks to be like a legitimate Arsenal fan, has followed us. So we're reaching our audience, which is
nice.
Good.
Big Nate. Very good. Look, we've got one final one. So we would love this person to get in touch. So every time we release the Factor 50 Football podcast, we can see where in the world people are watching or listening to it. And almost immediately when we release it, someone in the United States of America watches or listens to this podcast almost immediately.
Global Football Podcast.
Who are you? Get in touch. We want to know. Maybe you can come on the pod. We can reach across the pond.
That's a great idea. That would be really cool.
Yeah, that would be great. So yeah, whoever you are, mystery American, please get in touch. That'd be great. Imagine if it's Donald
Massive
Trump.
shout out.
Could be Trump.
Could be. Never know.
Could be Trump.
Yeah. There's no evidence to say it's not, is there?
Exactly.
I'd probably rather it's not.
Yeah, we probably don't really want Trump, but you know.
No. Although he's very orange, so yeah, true.
Excellent.
Okay. I think that's all of them. That's all the shout outs. Shall we move on to the last weekend's shenanigans in the Premier League?
Well, yeah, and it was good. It felt very
big
good.
one.
Yeah, it did.
I imagine it did for you. How what was your gut reaction to the result, the United game?
Surprised, I guess. Like, I know it felt like going in, like you build momentum, you've just beaten Liverpool. Traditionally, we'll then go to the next game, which is a game which is maybe more winnable, and we'd lose it, and then okay, all momentum's lost and it's back to normal. But you know, we bloody won, and we actually played very well, especially for the first half. We were excellent, really, really good. What I liked most was, and I want to be careful here, I'm still not a big fan of the system, but the system was actually working, and you could almost see the ways it was developing. So before, our midfield is just so easy to run through. So obviously we typically play Bruno and Casemiro in that midfield, and there's just pockets of space everywhere that everyone could just run through. What we're finding in this game, there's a lot more rotation. Shaw, for instance, was stepping into the midfield a lot more, make that a bit more solid, and we're leaving four at the back, and Shaw was stepping in. We had Cunha, who scoring his first goal. What a guy. He was tracking back and coming into the midfield and making that a lot more solid. So when we're in defense modes, people coming back a lot more. Bumo's doing the same thing. So there was just a lot more evidence that you can see on the training ground that perhaps what Amarin is talking about and what he's training them to do is maybe working or maybe buying into it. And, you know, perhaps we haven't got European football. We've got longer time on the training field. I reckon that's probably starting to help now. So I think that's a really, really good thing. But I want to be careful, right? Because I'm still not a massive fan of the system currently. But you can see that actually in some cases it's working, which is really
So do you think it's this is he's tweaked like his original tactical system slightly with like Shaw stepping into midfield to add numbers there, or is it just like the message is getting through better now? Because I didn't see the game. I don't know how United are playing other than our game.
it's hard to tell. I think it's easy to say that he's tweaked it, but I'm not too sure. I would imagine this is what he wanted all along, right? Because what he was doing before was probably too rigid, and there was just holes in the pitch everywhere. I think this is probably what he planned to do originally, and now it's taken time to come through. And a little thought that popped into my head. So obviously we spoke about on the last podcast, I think, or podcast before, Ratcliffe coming out and saying Cameron needs 3 years to see if he's going to work, see if he's going to be a good manager or not, see if it's going to work out. I wonder if, like, the players hearing that have gone, okay, well, this guy isn't going anywhere. Like, we are stuck with this system and this guy for a long time. And it might be subconscious, but we need to get on board with it because this is where we're at. And maybe that's helped a little bit as well. Typically, right, it's never just one thing. There's lots of little details that come into it. And
So you're saying it could be a master stroke from Big Jimmy
Big Jimmy playing the media.
building that buy-in. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I think I think it could work. But the question I keep coming back to is, if we are to believe Jim and he is going to give Amarin 3 years, is Amarin the guy, and is this the system that we need to fully believe in and get behind? Is this the system that's going to get us into the top four and ultimately challenge for the title again? I'm still not sure.
I think if he's sticking with Amarim, it's going to be that's the system he's going to use. I don't think Amarim is like tactically flexible in the way other managers are. I think like this is how he play because at Sporting like this is what they did and they were just really good at it and that's why they were so good. I don't think he really had like a oh let's switch to a 4-4-2. I don't think he's that tactically flexible, is he?
No, and my feeling is that the reason I don't think that this system will get us to a point where we're challenging for league titles. It might get us to challenging for Champions League, but I don't think it'll get us to challenging for league titles, mostly because from what I've seen, the evidence I've seen so far, it doesn't allow us to dominate the ball. I feel like most teams who are going to win titles, they dominate possession more often than not. So, for instance, in this game for Brighton, we were 43% possession is what we had in the game.
Brighton are a good possession team, though, aren't they?
They absolutely are. Obviously, very good at playing out the back, and that's a good point. Actually, our press was so aggressive from like moment we kicked off. So aggressive. Brighton kept kicking the ball into a Man United player all the time. It was that was really impressive the way that our press looked really strong. Because actually, our press has been terrible for years. Like we just haven't been able to press. And the front three is really exciting. I think Cunha and Bumo, Sesko playing in there as well. I know Sesko didn't score a goal.
Are they starting to gel, these new boys?
I think Mbuma and Cunha have played well anyway. They've looked good. And Sesko, I think, just gives different possibilities in that front line. Like he can play as that person to hold them up, those two run on. He can play as somebody who can get in the box. So if there's crosses coming into the box, he can just stay in that 6 yards box. I don't think he's going to score loads of goals this year. He'll probably score, 10 to 13 maybe this year. But the idea is you buy Sesko.
It's a very specific number.
10 to 13, around that sort of early teens, I guess. But I think that you buy Sesko for progression as well, right? He's not coming in as the perfect striker yet. If you look at last year, I think he only scored 13 goals, league goals, and where he came
Yeah,
from.
something like that.
So you're hoping, so like Isak, for instance, when he moved from Real Sociedad to Newcastle, his top La Liga goals was 13. He scored a maximum of 13 goals in La Liga, and then hopefully the progression comes on. That's what you're hoping for, right?
But he's at the right age for that to happen.
Yeah, exactly. It was good signs. So yeah, I was really impressed.
It's going in the right direction, isn't it?
Next 2 games. So we've got 2 away games. So we've got Forest away and Spurs away. They're big games for the guy who needs to get his hair cut. So if we win those 2 games,
true.
Get the Clippers.
He'll be so excited.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you think they're winnable games? Are they winnable?
Forest, you would say so, but you're obviously worried about the Sean Dyche bounce potential issue coming there.
Yeah.
Tottenham will be a bigger challenge because Frank's obviously got them set up actually in a not too dissimilar way to Arsenal, what they're doing is they're doing a lot more set pieces at Spurs at the minute, and
Well,
and playing off that. So they're not easy games, but yeah, Forest should be winnable. That'll be interesting. Imagine if we beat Forest and it comes down to the Spurs game. If this guy's going to get his head, that'd be great.
is he going to do something special for that? Like, is he going to have a watch along or something? Or, I
Should
feel
do.
like he should do.
I feel like I should know his
Yeah.
name. Maybe he should come on the podcast.
I'm sure he will. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm sure he's not being hassled by millions of podcasts to come and show his hair off.
Yeah, he'll want to join us.
What's going to happen after he shaves it off? Is it like, I'm done. See you later?
Yeah, he's got the weirdest hair. The way it grows, it like just grows on top of each other. Really odd.
I'm not really an expert in hair growth.
Yeah, I can see.
But it does seem to balloon like it's going out, isn't it? It doesn't go down. It goes up and out. Very voluminous.
Yeah, exactly.
Very jealous.
But no, it's good
Yeah.
times in Man United in a minute. I'm careful not to get too excited because it could all come crashing down. But
That is, yeah.
3
That's
wins
probably
in a
sensible.
row, ahead of Liverpool. We're ahead of
Yeah.
Man City. You know, we're pretty good.
I've got to call you out on something because you mentioned a frankly ridiculous statement in that Casemiro is back and he's at his best. Well, I don't know what you said. You said he was good, but is he good again? And that's a load of bollocks.
Well, the stats suggest otherwise, Mr. Grantham. So the stats I saw was that we've conceded 16 goals this season. We've been a bit leaky, but only 3 of those goals have been conceded when Casemiro's been on the pitch. So the stats suggest when Casemiro's on the pitch, we concede far less goals. And he played very well against Brighton.
Did he? It's just the eye test that I see is him walking around the midfield and like you could have the slowest player in the league and they just sort of run around him and he just goes, I'll try again next time. Like he just seems so slow, like almost disinterested at times.
I think that's hard.
I know he scored that goal, didn't he? But
yeah, well,
he just doesn't seem bothered. It's like, I've done the good stuff. I've won 6 Champions Leagues at Real Madrid or whatever it was. I'm just coming to United for a lovely paycheck and I'll bugger off to Saudi Arabia in 2 years or whatever. Retire a couple of years later. Job done.
I want to defend him a bit here. No, I think that's harsh. I think you can see Casemiro has passion. He tries really hard. Do I think Casemiro is the answer for our midfield? No, because he's on the decline for his career. Do I think he could have a part to play in this season being a solid year? Yes. And there's no doubt. Again, the manager test. Every manager that comes into United, they play Casemiro in the end because he's doing something on that pitch which they like.
I'll tell you why they play him, because the owners are paying him 300 grand a week, and they're not going to let a manager put that asset on the bench because they look like idiots. We've had it before as well. We've had it with Aubameyang and Ozil, and we pay them to leave because it's like, well, if you're not going to use them, Mikel, we got to get rid of them because you can't leave that much money sat warming a bench every day.
Yeah. Like I said, I don't think Casemiro is the answer, but at the moment, I think he's playing pretty well. So long may it continue.
Yeah, I enjoy seeing him starting in your lineup if you're playing us. That's all I'd say.
Yeah, I mean, I still look at the lineup and go Bruno Fernandes and Casemiro in the midfield. That is going to be a problem in some games, and I'm not naive to think we won 3 on the bounce, so we're going to win. The next 3. That's going to be too difficult. I mean, if you look at the Liverpool game, play that game, 10 times, we lose that game 7 times out of 10. 100%.
It does make sense, though, what he's doing if somebody else is joining the midfield. Because if you've got somebody whose legs are struggling or just can't be asked, I'll let you decide which one. But put another body in there. If you've got somebody who's relatively immobile, back him up with other players.
I think we just need another body in there anyway. I mean, most people in the Premier League are going to play 3 in midfield, and then we've only got 2.
You get outnumbered, don't you?
Can I call you out?
And also, they only play.
You say midfield. Weird.
Midfield.
The midfield. You almost say it like 2 words. Say it again.
Well, it is 2. It's the middle of the field, isn't it? That's where.
That's how you're going to be better. Welcome to the midfield. Say midfield.
Midfield.
You're just trying to say quick enough. Midfield.
Do you want to say squirrel?
I can say squirrel, no problem at all. Thank you very much.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah.
Are you?
Just said it. This is a joke. So yeah. So for everyone listening at home, I get bullied because apparently I can't say the word squirrel. Can you please leave a comment? Impediment. and either agree
Squirrel.
with me that I can say
Squirrel.
squirrel. I'm gonna stop saying it now because I will get it wrong.
Yeah.
Right.
We need to put a poll out on social media.
Yeah. Yeah, we put a poll out. Yeah. Danny Welbeck nearly come back to haunt us, didn't we? God, I thought we were gonna be
Yeah.
caught up again then.
He could do that again tonight as well. Ex-Arsenal player as well, of course,
Do you know
for
what?
Brighton.
I heard a really interesting stat about Danny Welbeck, actually. This is pretty mad. So, obviously, usually your 20s are your prime years when you're a footballer, right? And the 30s slightly start to decline, broadly speaking. Apparently, Danny Welbeck's on course to outscore his 20s in his 30s. Does that make sense?
Is he?
Yeah.
I can sort of believe that because he's done well at Brighton, and
Mm.
he's done, and obviously that's when he's been sort of over. I don't know. He's quite old now, isn't he? But
Yeah.
he turned 30 before he got to Brighton, I think.
Mm.
And if you think about his career when he was at United and then Arsenal, that was when he had all the injury issues. So he probably, obviously, didn't score loads, but he didn't play like. There were lots of seasons. I remember seasons where he played like 10 games for us in the league. So yeah, I think I could believe that. Although I don't know the numbers, I'd like to see the numbers.
Mm.
But he's one of those players who's just like, I don't know, in his older age, he was quick anyway. So like, yes, his pace will drop, but he's still like quick enough to do the job. He's big and physical. He's always been strong.
Yeah.
And like the experience and the confidence that he's got from being in the Premier League for 15 years or more is probably like really helping him out, I think. And to be fair, like everywhere he's gone as well, all the fans still love him. Like, I just
Everyone's
think he's one of
Welsh.
those players. He's like, yeah, he's a great player. And I like seeing him do well. Just not tonight, thanks, Danny. That would be great
Go on,
if you
Danny.
could just
Get some
be
goals.
shite.
Man. Get some goals.
Yeah,
Cool. Okay. Well, that's United. Anything you wanted to say about us and being so incredible? Anything? No.
absolutely nothing.
Fair enough.
No, I think I think I'm not saying it's paying off because you've still got big squad problems, but the one thing I'm noticing is obviously in the summer they had so much work to do. They decided obviously we couldn't score last season. Let's just buy more attackers, better attackers. That is starting to work because they're scoring more goals. You had 1.14 xG against Brighton and scored 4 goals. And yes, one flew in off a bloke's arse, and you get lucky sometimes. But if you spend 200 million on attackers and don't buy Anthony, you're probably going to get a decent goal return. And I think they've gone up. They looked at who scored a load of goals last season in the Premier League. Let's get them. They bought a good prospect in Sesko, who's also probably old enough to handle leading the line in the Premier League. Whether he can do it at United, I don't know. But they've spent the money on the attack, and it's you're still conceding goals, but you're scoring more as well, and that is good. You're guaranteed to finish higher than 15th or 16th if you're bringing in, say, 40 goals from those 3 players would be a decent return. You're going to be better than last season, aren't you?
Yeah. No, I agree. No, definitely. It was the right thing to do.
Which is a shame because it was really fun last season.
It was awful. It was awful. Okay, can we move on to boring Arsenal? God, I feel like, do you know, every time we come to talk about
1-0
Arsenal,
to the
I'm like,
Arsenal.
oh, what happened? Oh yeah, they won 1-0 with another set piece. It's like deja vu all
Glorious.
the time.
It's happened 2 games in a row, mate. That's it.
Exactly, deja vu all the time. God,
It happens so often.
how was it? How did it go down? Did you dominate a bit more than what the 1-0 suggests? Or?
It was quite even, I think, as a game. So a bit of backstory: we were on the way back from Scotland on Sunday, so I wasn't at home. I hadn't made it back yet, so I'd set it to record, and I was like, I'm gonna phone on airplane mode. I'm gonna watch it when we get home at like 9 o'clock at night or whatever, when the boys have gone to bed. So I was obviously, the anticipation was building. Saw my dad on the way back. He'd seen the result, and I was like, "Don't tell me." And but he didn't seem devastated, so I was like, "Oh, that's a good sign." Bev knew the result, and she didn't seem worried that I was going to be pissed off. So I was hopeful, and then I watched it, and I was like, "God, that was dull. I could have just watched the highlights." But I like watching the Arsenal games. So yeah, it was boring. But the thing is, like, Palace are really good as well.
Yeah.
Palace are the best attacking team in the league this season. I think they got the most XG in the league, or most XG from losing positions or something like that. Like they score a lot of goals, they go forward, they attack, and they didn't really have a big chance. They had lots of good build up, creating opportunities to have a shot, but they didn't get the shot away, or we blocked it, or we dealt with it, or whatever. And I think to nullify a team like that is fucking good going. And it's a sign of our incredible defense. So yeah, I think the sort of the narrative of Arsenal just don't attack. Like, well, you got to play the team you're playing, and Palace are really good. So it's a bit disrespectful to Palace to say like, oh, you should just be tearing them apart. Like, well, no one else has this season. They're really good. They won the FA Cup. They've beaten Liverpool. They've beaten who else? Did they beat City? No, they haven't played City yet. But they're what were they, top half? I think.
But no, I think it's a really good
Under
point. Palace
Glasner,
are a great team.
they're really good. So yes, I'd love us to be more expansive and attacking, but a team like Palace, like that's exactly how they want you to play because they'll just kill you with pace on the break. Um, so I'd much rather be defensive, solid, stick to our strengths of set pieces, get a goal on a set piece. And even when we went ahead and they sort of obviously then need to come forward more, they still didn't really create any massive opportunities. It was a low XG game, as you'd probably expect, and which I think they had like 0.4 XG.
And they had
They had
zero
a
shots
shot
on
on
target.
target, or did they have zero? I heard that they had one,
Right.
and it was in like the 80th minute or something when Eddie Nketiah came on, great player, and I swear it wasn't a shot, but I think it's gone down as a shot. So the cross comes in from I think it was Munoz on the right, and Eddie goes up for a header, and Raya comes out to grab it, and Raya gets there, but I think there's debate as to whether like, Eddie sort of flicks it. And if he made contact, it was technically going on target. But I feel like Raya got there first. So I think if you look at the Premier League website, there's like officially there's a shot on target, but like that wasn't really a chance. So I think that makes it 3. If you're not including that, it makes it 3 games in a row where we've not conceded a shot on target,
Wow.
which is pretty
That's
good.
a huge stat, isn't it? Why is that? Why are you so good at why is the defense so good? I mean, you've only conceded 3 goals this season. Is it just because Gabriel and Saliba are incredible? Like, what is it? And Timber's the best right back in the league this year. What is it?
So obviously we have excellent defenders. You can make a case for the back four being like and Raya being the best in their position in the league. So you need good defenders, but it's not just that. It's our discipline when we don't have the ball or when we lose the ball. I think I can't remember whether it was on Match of the Day or Micah Richards did a bit a few weeks ago, showing like Arsenal lose the ball and there was like a 3-on-3. So there were 3 attackers and we had three people back. And he was like, he counted, 1, 2, 3, 4, paused it again, and our entire 11 were behind the ball.
Wow.
Like when we don't have the ball, everyone knows where they need to be and they bust a gut to get there. So although you've got to have good defenders, like if you leave, like Van Dijk's a good defender, obviously, but if you leave him exposed, he gets beat. We have the excellent defenders, but the rest of the team, the shape we get into, and our ability to get back into defensive shape on transitions mean that we're really, really hard to break down. So it's a combination. It's the shape of the team and the discipline of everyone, starting from Gyökeres up front to get back and work. And it's just like Gabriel, Saliba, Calafiori's having a great season. Timber is the best right back, arguably in the league, the world right now. He's doing everything. Raya obviously is a great shot stopper, great distribution, great on the ball as well. So like building up, we're not really giving away too many chances from trying to play out. Yeah, it's going really well at the moment.
What I
Long
think
may it continue.
looks really good is you've actually got quite a few different ways of playing now. Like you've got almost like Arteta's got this like tool belt and goes, right, we can do lots of different things. Like your fullbacks are the like clear example of that. So you've got Timber, you're right, he's the best fullback in the Europe probably at the minute. You've got Ben White who can come in there, he'll do something different. The left back's the one that I feel like Arteta's probably changed the most depending on which game. Calafiori is obviously incredible down that left-hand side, can also cut in as well. But Marslu Skelly is usually the one who goes in the inverted into midfield, rather Calafiori.
Well, this season, Calafiori's locked that down. So Miles isn't really getting many minutes in the league. But Calafiori's injury record is like you need a second excellent left back, and Miles is, I mean, 18, full England international. He's a quality player, and he's not even a left back. He's a like sort of 6'8" type central midfielder who's doing a job at left back. Yeah, they're all the 8 players we've got who play across the back, like the interchangeability of them. One of the reasons I'm looking forward to the game tonight is obviously we're going to rotate. I'm looking forward to seeing Hincapié, Mosquera, Ben White hasn't played for a while. Miles will hopefully start at left back or maybe in the middle. I'd love to see him start at 6 and rest Zubimendi. There's just those 8 players, like the quality is just so high. It's very exciting. And also, like, people have a go at Arteta for being defensive. Do they see what he does with his left back? Calafiori just goes wherever the fuck he wants. He plays right wing. He plays centre forward. He had a shot against Fulham in the last game. He scored, didn't he? He scored. It was an offside goal. He'd gone a yard early, but he scored this incredible goal, like from centre forward. He was in the middle of the pitch and he ran out to the left. Trossard passed it on, and Calafiori was like, foot or two offside. But he just pings this first time ball into the top corner, and he's a left back. And people say that Arteta's like defensive. If you're defensive, you don't play that player at left back. But he's not. He's just he values organisation and structure because he knows you can't be good going forward if you're shit at the back, because then you'll just get picked off and destroyed in this league.
Yeah, I think Calafiori is something that I think other teams will now try and copy, like similar to what Pep did when he first started inverting. People will start to try and copy what Calafiori's doing, because you're right, he is like a cheat code up there. He's like, you can just wander in. It's like, who's supposed to mark him? Because most teams in the Premier League, when in defence, they go man to man, and you can't go man to man on Calafiori because
you're like,
who's
this rampaging Italian bastard just charging through the two centre backs? He's done the inverted thing, but he's taken it to like the next level, and it's like, I'm not going to stop at central midfield. I'm going to go over there on the right because of the space, or I'm going to go through the middle up front because of the space or whatever. And it works a treat. Like, I don't know whether it's still true, but before this game, he'd had the most shots in our team. He was our like leading shot taker and XG creator, if you like. And I think the second one was Timber, who's the other fullback.
Wow. Okay. But just to throw some negativity into Arsenal, you've got some injuries now starting to happen. Could this wobble you a bit? Your injuries coming on?
Well, yes, we saw last season it can, but we're way better equipped to deal with injuries. The thing is, so we've got the squad depth now to deal with these injuries, and like we've got before the Palace game, we had Odegaard, Madueke, Havertz, and Jesus, all attackers, all out injured, and we're still putting out a really good attacking team. Or the 4 players who started in those attacking positions are still really good. If injuries carry on at this rate, yes, it will definitely hurt us, because like I think we had 4 injuries by the end of the game. We had another 4 players injured. Arteta's press conference, he's confirmed, I think Rice and Gabriel, I think, are okay, and they can play against Brighton. Although I hope they don't. I hope they sit down and have a rest.
Yeah.
But Saliba's out, Tonelli's out. Add that to the other 4 players we've got. Like, it's pretty ridiculous. So I think injuries have continued at the same rate as last season. It's just we've got the bigger squad to deal with it. So yeah, if they carry on like they are, it will cause problems. We'll lose games because we don't have the players. But it'd be really, really unlucky if we keep getting 2, 3, 4 injuries a game. That's surely not going to happen. And I'm looking forward to that being clipped up in 6 weeks' time when we've lost 3 on a bounce and Saka's out for the year and Havertz comes back, falls over and like dislocates his shoulder or some shit. But yeah, I'm hoping they stop.
Do you know the person I forgot who still plays for you, who's injured? Can you guess?
Go on.
Jesus. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I saw it the other day. I was I thought he'd gone or on loan somewhere.
Yeah. It's mad. Talking about the last time I went to the Emirates, actually, he scored twice against Palace. No, he scored a hat-trick, sorry. He scored all 3. He scored 2 hat-tricks for Arsenal. I was at the game both times. So when he's back, I need to go to the game because he'll score a hat-trick. So yeah, he was incredible when he came in. Him and Zinchenko like transformed us into title challengers, and then got injured at the World Cup in 2022, the Winter World Cup one, 22. And since then, like his injury record's just been horrendous. And he was getting back into I think he scored like 6 in 3 games last Christmas, and then just got injured again. I think it was against United. United scum snapping his legs. It was off the ball. I think he just fell over. I think it was like one of those where he goes down off the ball, and it like he'd done a ACL or something, and so he's been out since Christmas. So he's totally written off basically. Like I think probably some Arsenal fans have forgotten he plays for us.
Yeah, I just couldn't believe it.
It'd be nice if he could get on the pitch. Yeah, he's due to return soon, I think.
So here's a question for you, right? So it feels like, I don't know if you feel like this as well, and I don't know if this was on purpose, but Arteta's got this spot on. So it feels like the whole of the Premier League has almost decided to play differently this year. It's much more about long balls, set pieces, big lads, wherever you possibly can. And that plays into all of Arsenal's strength, right? Because you are all about that. You are the best at all of that stuff. So, like, that's a weird shift. And I think you can see Liverpool struggling with that because they've gone for smaller, more technical players, and everyone's playing long against them. They can't fucking deal with it. So surely everything is set up for Arsenal to win the league. Do you
Yeah,
think they'll win the league now?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I said since day one, I'm confident we're going to win the league.
So
The only thing that could,
what
oh,
happens?
go on.
What happens if you don't win the league this year?
It depends on the context. So, like, if we just fall away, like we've got all our players fit, but our form just goes out the window, then you need to look at why that's happened. Arteta, is it players fucking up or a system thing or whatever? But I can't see that happening. I think we've got enough quality players that if they stay fit, I think we'll win the league. But the squad hasn't got any gaping holes or flaws in it at the moment. Whereas if you look at the other candidates for winning the league, they've got such massive, obvious errors. And they might fix it in January, but that's a lot to fix with not a lot of time to sort of make it work. And even if they do fix it, that's going to be halfway through the season, isn't it? So it's going to be another 8-10 games before they get a chance to like implement whatever they fix. So by that point, we could be further ahead, and they've got more, more ground to catch up and stuff. So if there's a drop off in performance, then we need to look at what's wrong. If it's just like injuries carry on and we lose several key players to injury, and similar things to last season happen where we just fucking run out of players and we've got like 4 or 5 teenagers on the bench, then I don't think anything needs to change. Maybe we need to hire some better fucking physios or something, or get some like horses' shoes hung up in the dressing room or around the training pitch, like put clovers on everyone's ankles so they stop fucking falling over and breaking their legs. But yeah, if it's an injury crisis again, you can't point the finger of blame at Arteta or the players. That shit happens and you get unlucky. To win the league, every team who has ever won the league has had elements of luck to get there. But you can't win the league if all your best players get injured. Like last season, Liverpool deserved to win the league, but they were also lucky in that their big players didn't get injured. And they played 36, 37, 38 league games. Like Leicester, when they won the league, they had like the same 11 for 90% of their games. That's a bit different because that was just a weird season and everyone else was shite that season. But yeah, if you're going to win the league, you've got to be relatively lucky with injuries. But yeah, I'm sticking with Arsenal as favourites for the league title. I think they're even more favourites now, and obviously the pressure is going to ramp up, and the media are going to be like doing everything they can to write those bottle job pieces. I can always already hear them in my head now. Like they're going to be desperate for those, like, oh, Arteta's bottled it, Arsenal bottled it, second again, ole ole.
Well, do you know what?
But I don't think it's going to happen.
On that point, I think that is the only chance you've got of not winning this league. So if
Bottling
Liverpool
it?
or Man City or somebody can get some bloody consistency together and be near enough to you come March, April, where there's enough pressure on
Yeah,
to make it a bit wobbly where every game matters.
a bit of a wobbler.
That's the only place I could see maybe you might lose it because you've not won it before, right? So it's like we want it so much, we've got to win this.
Yeah.
That sometimes you start overthinking things or the pressure does get too much. But yeah, at the moment I can just see an Arsenal.
So I heard on a podcast probably way more insightful than ours.
Doubt it.
An Arsenal podcast. Are there any of them? I don't think they exist. Yeah. So they were saying one of the guys on there made a really good point that I thought was very insightful. So obviously Arsenal fans are terrified of not getting over the line this season, and like everything's looking so good, it looks like almost difficult for us to not win the league in a way. All Arsenal fans have like 15 years of trauma about the Wenger defense, just being torn through and finishing second runner up so many times. And he said, as a fan base, we need to mature in our mentality to the level of our players. Like these are not like a group of young, well, they are relatively young, but completely inexperienced people who have never done it before and are shy and are nervous about the pressure. These are men who they want it. They want to be top of the league. They want everyone looking at them. They want trophies. They want pressure. They're comfortable with it. But as a fan base, where they're like, oh fucking hell, we're gonna lose, we're gonna lose, we're gonna lose. And I think we need to get to their level of being comfortable, being the favourites, being the front runners, and obviously like we're not. I'm fucking terrified that we're gonna fuck it up somehow. But yeah, they know what I believe in them. I believe I trust Arteta. I trust our senior players to get us over the line.
I believe in you. Yeah, all right. Well, Premier League's over already. Boring. Move on. Okay, other Premiership goals or games.
Oh, this is the tasty bit.
There's just some tasty bits here, isn't there? So, where do you want to
Tasty
start?
bits.
City losing or Liverpool losing?
Well, they're both delicious. Let's do the Liverpool one because that's probably more of the fuck me. I've got cramp. Oh, hang on.
You've got cramps sitting down.
I trained for the first time in like 2 weeks yesterday. Oh my god, my
Train-
hamstrings are on
By
fire.
the way, this guy's a PT. Trained for the first time in 2 weeks.
A cramp's pretty normal, mate, when you work hard.
You haven't worked hard. You haven't done it for 2 weeks.
You're a lazy bastard. That's the problem. Yeah, should we do the Liverpool one first? That's probably like a bigger story on the title race, isn't it?
Yes. I love it. Liverpool is shit.
They're really bad, aren't they?
Yeah, they're really bad. And look, again, we come back to this, but we did call this at some point. We said Isak's going to be shit. We said Salah's going to be shit. We said Arne Slot will be shit. No, we didn't say that. But
Yeah.
what do you think is going wrong now? What's happening?
Well, if you listen to Arne Slot, like other teams are changing their starting 11, and that's not fair. So
Can't do
maybe other teams just need to. I think they need to write down what they're going to do before the game and send it to him. Because otherwise that's a bit out of order, isn't it? You're not allowed to do that. No, I think jokes aside, it's probably I think we've done it to death on the last couple of podcasts, haven't we? But they're just exposed at the back, and teams know it now, and they're just exploiting it massively, and they haven't really got the personnel to kind of do anything different. So I think they need a change of tactic. They need because putting the same system out every week when that system is the thing getting you exposed, logic would suggest you need to change something. So I don't know what that is. I don't know whether they've got the players to make a change, but I'm not Arne Slot, so that's probably a good job for all of Liverpool fans. I think the one interesting thing for me is last season he was very amicable and friendly and sort of chilled out because they had a pretty clear shot at the title, didn't they? By the end of the season, they kind of won it at a canter. And now the sort of the mask is coming down a little bit, and he's getting a bit aggy, and he's nibbling a little bit, and he's starting to be, I'm not. They're not. Well, no, they are. They're excuses. He's starting to come up with bullshit as to why this team are losing. Whereas really, he needs to look at tactical shifts to counter the problems they're facing. I think the big red flag for me was a couple of weeks ago in his post-match interview after they lost. I can't remember. They lost so many. I can't remember which one it was. But he said, I'm seeing stuff on the pitch, which is good, and we're doing well. If we do more of that, we'll be fine. And then I looked at, obviously they lost the game. I looked at the stats. I looked at the highlights. And I was like, this is not good. You were not good. You were outshot. You were outfought. You lost load of duels. You were rubbish. But he's saying, and maybe he's just trying to give the players confidence. But that's not true. That's not the case. That's not what's happening on the pitch. And I think he's being found out a bit, which is lovely.
I think you're right. I think it goes back to what I was saying before about the Premier League's change now in terms of how everyone's playing.
Yeah.
Long throws, all the set pieces, long balls. There's a stat as well. I think last season, when teams played Liverpool, there was 40% long balls played against them. This year, the teams playing against Liverpool are doing 70% long balls. So they've sort of realised that Liverpool can't cope with that. Van Dijk's getting exposed to probably not at the level they wanted to be at. The fullbacks have just not settled at all, and they're in massive trouble there. So they just can't cope with the big lads. It's as simple as that.
Did you see the goal? Who do they lose to? Who do they play? Brentford. The third Brentford goal. When the guy was through, was it Sharda? I think no, it was the second goal, and Kanate was chasing him, and probably 5 or 6 strides before he hits the ball, Kanate's just stopped running. He's just given up. It's what are you doing? Why have you stopped running? He's just given up. And I know the guy's probably going to get his shot away, but if you sprint and put some sort of tackle or get a shoulder on him, it makes it harder for him to finish. And he just stops. And he's just I scored, fuck it.
Yeah.
It makes you question, is his head in it?
Yeah, it's it can happen sometimes with teams, can't it? Where they do go like Man City last year when they went like 10 games without winning or something. Like you can just
Yeah,
mental space where it's like anything we try is not coming off.
you just exposed.
Yeah, exactly. Right. And we're back.
Bloody hell.
Yeah,
We're back.
we're back. I hope you enjoyed the advert break, which wasn't an advert break. It was the fact that Mike's tech has just stopped working. So,
Headphones have stopped. It turns out you need to charge stuff for it to work.
yeah, and all of the things Mike were using is now run out of charge. So that's good, isn't it?
Hey, your microphone switched off at one point.
Yeah, before we started recording, right? Liverpool is shit, so that's good. We know that.
Lovely. Job
Man
done.
City lost. I was really surprised by this. I thought they were in good
Yeah.
form. I thought they would definitely go on to win. And you got a bit
I
of
was
heat
surprised.
on TikTok, didn't you? Because you were talking about
Ooh, lots.
Haaland and saying that he scores all the time, and he basically was saying he's the only good player in Man City. I think you said. Is that what you said?
Yeah, I'll stick with that.
And he didn't score.
Yeah. Well, I've got a stat to reply to all those wankers.
Oh, right. You're coming out, you Man City fans. Listen up. On this bad boy up.
Well, obviously Haaland scored whatever, like 11, something ridiculous, shitload of goals. Their next top scorer is own goals with 2, which was the
Wow.
same bloke, ironically. It is Esteve or Esteve,
Oh,
or
yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
For Burnley when he scored 2 own goals in a game. So he's their second top scorer on 2, and then the next one is everyone, like a few people who've got 1 goal. They have a sharing goals round problem. And like Marmoush and Cherky and stuff have been injured, so they get a bit of a free pass. But the rest of that team, there are not enough goals in it, are there?
No.
Evidently. And if you replace Haaland with another striker or put someone else there, yeah, they might score some goals. They're not going to score as many goals as Haaland. Like, it's simple as that. He's the best striker in the world, and it's not even that close. They've got, obviously, a massive over-reliance on Haaland, and he might play every game and score 50 goals, and they might win the league. But that is very unlikely, I think. They need someone else to back him up, basically. That was my point, and I'm sticking by it.
Yeah, do you know what my thoughts are on Man City at the minute? They're almost becoming like insignificant. Does that make sense?
Ooh,
In terms
that's
of
a lovely soundbite for social media.
what I mean by that is like obviously they dominated the Premier League for a long period of time. I know Liverpool won it last year, but they've always been really competitive. So Pep Guardiola is considered the best manager in the world. So they're always like front and center of the conversation, typically, right? Or at least part of that conversation. It feels like this year, like they're not really that part of the conversation because they're too up and down, and it's just like, well, we don't really know what they are this year. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, definitely. I don't think their identity is like fully settled yet, or like what this team is. I think it's clearly like I don't really like the phrase rebuild season, but like Pep is rebuilding, right? They've lost Walker and Gundogan and De Bruyne and all these like world class players over the last 12, 18 months or whatever it is. There's gonna be like, you're not just gonna replace that instantly. And so the new signings have got to settle in and get up to speed. And I think that's what this season is. And I think other than Haaland, like no one's really in top form. I still think they'll do well. I still think they're probably our biggest, or as an Arsenal fan, my biggest worry is probably still City at the moment, because Liverpool have got bigger problems. But they, like I said earlier, they've got like fundamental flaws as well. They need someone else stepping up, scoring goals. They're still a bit easy to run through because Rodri's still got his injury problems. If he gets back and up to like the player that he was when he won the Ballon d'Or, they could absolutely like go on a 15, 20 game winning run and run away with it. But yeah, without Rodri up to full speed, with the new players settling in, like they've got problems.
It's interesting, Man City there is the one you're most worried about. Do you think, this just came to my head, do you think Tottenham are a serious title contender? They're in third place at the moment on 17 points. Obviously a point ahead of Man City. Have they got a chance? Could they compete?
To win the league?
Yeah.
No. Not a single hope in hell. I think they've got a shout of top 4 or 5 or whatever to get into Europe, purely because like there's enough wrong with the other teams going for the top 4 that they could get, if they put a decent run together, they could get in there. But winning the league, no way. Like Thomas Frank's good. He's not a fucking miracle worker. They don't. they don't have enough depth. Still, like I don't know what it is. There's something in their DNA about like they just fuck it up. They just go full Spurs. Like they'll have really good run of games, and then they play Bournemouth at home, and they just get played off the park and don't have a shot until like the 75th minute or something. Then they'll go and beat Man City away, which is an incredible result, and then they lose at home to someone like a lower team down the league. They don't have that, like, I don't know, top, title challenging experience yet to be anywhere near putting a title challenge together. It's the history of the Tottenham, mate.
It is. I guess it is. Okay.
They don't do that sort of thing.
Two teams that deserve a special shout out, right, for how well they've started the season. So Bournemouth, fucking hell, second place in the league, and then Sunderland, last minute winner to beat Chelsea.
Love that.
I did not see this Sunderland coming. Remember, we watched this playoff final, didn't we, in the pub?
Yeah.
Together, and I remember seeing Sunderland going, I think they're pretty average, and obviously they signed a lot of players.
Yeah.
Doesn't always work, but sometimes it does. Nottingham Forest is a classic example of when it does work. But they look incredible. I don't know what it is. I'm sure the Stadium of Light's having a massive impact as well. Like anytime they play at home, the crowd is just so up for it. It's incredible. Where do you think, realistically, Bournemouth and Sunderland will finish this year in the table?
I don't think Sunderland will be anywhere near the relegation zone after the first 10 games. So I think they're going to be. I think they got a good shout of solid mid-table. Somewhere around 45, 50 points, nowhere near the drop zone. Because there's anyone can beat anyone in this league, really. That's what the first sort of 10 games have shown. So I think Sunderland could get comfortable mid-table. I think a European push is pushing it. But they do it. They have a big squad, and they're only obviously they're only playing once a week. So I reckon mid-table is a good shout for them.
Top 10 or bottom half?
They could push for 9th, 10th, I reckon, and that would be an incredible result, wouldn't it, for their first season back up?
Considering the teams in the top 10 now.
Yeah, they've done some really good. They've done some really good transfers. That's not a phrase, is it? They've done some good signing. Yeah, but they've signed obviously loads of players. The Nottingham Forest throw enough shit at a wall and some of it will stick strategy. It works. It always worked for them anyway. But they weren't all shite players. They've signed some really good players, and there's enough other teams in the league that are showing they're pretty inconsistent and drop points with enough regularity for them to stay in the sort of lower top half, I reckon.
Yeah.
Bournemouth, I would love it if they got top 4 or into the Champions League. I'd love it. I don't know whether they can with their stadium as it is, because it's such a small stadium, isn't it?
Yeah,
I don't know what European regulations are. They might have to quickly whack another standard.
They've got a couple of tough games as well, the next 2 games. So they've got Man City away and then Villa away, and Villa are now in good form. If they can get some points from that, they've then got a pretty decent run at 3 games of West Ham, Sunderland, and Everton. Yeah. So if they do well the next 2 games, it could be on.
Yeah, they did it last season, didn't they? They had a really good run, and then they sort of tailed away a little bit and just missed out on Europe. But that European qualification is definitely a possibility for them this season. They don't have that, playing on a Thursday night against fucking Mordor or someone in the Europa Conference League to worry about. Which is, I think that's a big benefit as well, because they've got a smaller squad and not as much depth. That's going to help them out. When you look at clubs like Villa, Newcastle, Forest, they're going to suffer because they don't have the biggest squad, and they've got every Saturday, every Wednesday or Thursday, whatever competition they're in. The Bournemouth don't have to worry about that. So, yeah, I really hope they're sort of my second team, because Bev's from Bournemouth. I'd love to see them in the top 6, top 5.
Nice.
Where do you think they'll finish?
I think Bournemouth will do almost exactly the same as Forest last year. I think they've got a good enough squad where they will be there or thereabouts come, 28 games in or something like that in terms of round top 4. And then I think they'll drop to 7th or 8th back end of the season.
It's just, do they have the legs to stay the course?
It's just it's too hard on 38 games to stay there with that small of a squad. Like I say, a couple of injuries and they go on. I don't know. And Sunderland, I think you're right. I think they'll finish, around 10, 11, 12, something like that. So Yeah, I agree with
Yeah.
what you've said. Sure. Cool. Okay. Anything else you want to say about anybody else?
I think the only other, you mentioned it briefly there, the only other shout out for the rest of the league, Villa and Emery sort of turn it around.
Yeah.
I can't remember exactly. Let me just have a look. But they had like a horrendous. They had obviously a terrible start, and then they had this really difficult run. So they've just beaten Spurs away, Burnley at home, and City at home. Burnley at home, they should be winning that. But the last two games, Spurs and City, they've had a terrible start. You see those fixtures coming up. You think like, shit, they could be in the relegation zone after those two games. But they've won them both. They're back up to wherever they are.
Eighth now.
Top six or something?
Eighth. Yeah.
Unai has turned it around a little bit. Whether it carries on, I don't know. Because there's a bit of he's got history of like 2 or 3 seasons. He's excellent, and then it sort of drops off. And the rumours are that because he's really like tactical and in depth, he kind of wears players out a little bit, and they stop taking in what he's telling them, and so their performance is kind of over 2 or 3 seasons. It gets a bit much, and they sort of tail off, and that's what happened at PSG, at Arsenal. It looked like it was happening at Villa, but he's turned it around, hasn't he? He's doing well.
Yeah, he has turned it around. Their issue at the moment though is just goals. They've only scored 9 goals so far in the Premier League and conceded.
Yeah, they're gonna have to sort that out.
So their defense is pretty good, but they need to score more goals. And 4 back-to-back wins, fair play. Who knows where they could finish now? It's
they're back in the hunt. That's for sure.
I mean, they're ahead of Chelsea now, head of Newcastle, on the same points as Liverpool. So yeah, it's massive. It's all to play for, except it's not because Arsenal have already won. Boo!
Let's not get carried away. Let's not get hasty.
I want a title race this year. That's just what I want.
I don't. I want it to be like. I want it to be so boring. Like we're just so far ahead, no one cares. Everyone's giving up.
Already boring. So boring.
Good. I said it early in the season. I said like, let's just get to like 10, 15 games, like steady, pick up the points, win the games, nothing fancy, don't make headlines. Ironically, we're now making headlines because we're boring, apparently. But we're doing it. It's happening. It's on. And also the exciting thing is, so there's 2 games left before the next international break. We've got Burnley and Sunderland, which are harder fixtures than they would have been at the start of the season. If we win both of those, we will be at least 8 points ahead of Liverpool or City, because they play each other in the next round of fixtures. So like if we win both of our next 2, we could be going into the international break 8, 9 points ahead of one of those 2 teams, or both of them. If they draw, they both drop points, which is a big gap for like 11 games in.
Yeah, it is. Okay, right. Shall we wrap up with our predictions? I feel like this segment needs a name or something. Like, what should we call it? Like, predictions feels a bit silly. We'll stick with predictions.
Put me on the spot.
Well, put it out to the listeners, or Coxie, the one listener.
What do you think? Yeah.
What should we call this? And also keep your eyes peeled. If you have listened to this far in the episode, well done. But we will be having a facelift soon. We're going to be rebranding.
Already.
Well, not our social media, but our digital designer, Nat, has been working on the case for us. He's already sent me an invoice, by the way.
Lovely. I'll let you sort that one out.
Well, I said we will pay it in shout-outs. So there you go. There's your shout-out.
Yeah, sorted.
So, from last week, the score was 1-1. We're drawing. So, let's start with yours, Mike. So, you said the Man United-Brighton game would be 3-2 Brighton.
I was close. I was just the wrong way.
You predicted the goals. There was plenty of goals.
Yeah.
But not quite. So, no points for you.
Damn.
I predicted 3-1. And for a period of time, I thought 3-1 was going to come in. I thought I was going to get correct score. And then 2 late goals.
You conceded again. I feel like the correct score, if either of us gets that, like you're probably going to win. Like just 3 points from a correct score is a big jump.
Yeah, that is a big jump. That'll be difficult to claw back. So that's a point for me. Then the Arsenal games, you said 2-1 Arsenal. And obviously it's 1-0. That's a point for you. And I said 1-1, which again, close-ish, but no cigar. So now it's 2-2. Ooh, the jeopardy.
Ooh. We do need another thing we can ask for you, for the listeners. We need an idea of a forfeit as well, don't we? If we're going to do this till whenever, the end of the season. we need a forfeit for the loser. Nothing horrendously bad because we probably just won't do it.
Yeah, we'll just say no. No, we will do it. Give us some suggestions. We'll do a forfeit. So fixtures coming up then, Mike. Let's do Arsenal one first. Okay. So Arsenal Saturday, 3:00 kickoff away to Burnley.
Yeah, I reckon we're going to win. I think. If you'd asked me at the start of the season, I'd said like 3 or 4-0. Now, I've seen what Burnley have done when they played like Liverpool and they dug in and they were really disciplined and they lost to a like 90th minute penalty or something, didn't they? And they were really good defensively in the Championship last season, ridiculously good. I can't remember the run of clean sheets they had last season, but it was mental.
Yeah, they had Jimmy Trafford then as well, though. But yeah.
Yeah, and we've obviously picked up a couple more injuries, so it looks like Arteta didn't say when Saliba and Martinelli would be back. I don't think any of the already injured players are going to be back. So we're going to start to see backup players starting in the Premier League, which could throw us off a little bit, but I still think we'll win. I think we should win if we have like title aspirations or whatever. I will go 2-0 Arsenal because I think you were going to go 2-0, weren't you?
I was going to go 2-0 Arsenal. Bastard.
I feel like we're gonna concede soon. Well, we have to, but the defense just looks so solid, and I don't know if it was like the Sunderland game that we've got after Burnley. Maybe I'd back them to score, but I don't know whether Burnley have got enough up front to break our defense down. So I'll go clean sheet and I'm gonna go 2-0 Arsenal. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm on a similar vein of form to you. I feel like you've got to concede soon. You only conceded 3, but I just can't see Burnley scoring unless it's like a freak goal or something.
Could be, yeah, could be.
So I'll go 2-1 us.
2-1. Good to have a bit of difference.
Yeah.
We can't both go 2-0.
No, I think that's a rule. You can't choose what someone else.
Yeah. So how about you go first on the next one so that you get first dibs of the score?
Fine. So also 3:00 kickoff for the United game. We are away to Nottingham Forest. So will that be Dyche's first home game?
That's a good question.
I don't know if they...
Nottingham Forest home. He had the home game in the Europa League.
Yeah, which he did.
But first home league game, I think.
Yeah, I'm a bit worried about that because I think Dyche going back to Forest home game would be a little bit more tricky. So I think, God, this was really hard. I feel like I have to back us to win because we're in good bit of form. So I'm going to go for a 1-0 United win.
1-0. You go on clean sheet.
Yeah, Le Mans, he's on it, mate. He's our new.
Unlikely. Yeah, you are in good form, aren't you? And it's when there's a new manager. I know he's had a couple of games, but it's hard to see like how they're going to play. With Sean Dyche, I suppose you know what you're going to get, but it's how quickly he can sort them out and get them up to scratch. So I'm going to go draw. I'll go 1-1 draw, I reckon.
I think that's a good shout. I was going to go 1-1, but I felt like
I thought you were going to take it. Yeah, I thought you were going to take it.
As a United fan, I felt like I couldn't go for it, but I do think that could be the score. Okay,
yeah.
So Mike, you've gone 2-0 Arsenal and 1-1, and I've got 2-1 Arsenal and 1-0 United.
Okay, so there's a bit of difference there.
There's a bit of difference, which is good. Awesome. Well, that wraps up another Factor 50 football podcast. Our 6th episode, I think now. 6?
Yeah, episode 6, done. Yeah.
Done and dusted. Thank you so much for listening. Please do like, subscribe, follow, wherever you're listening or watching. It does help, and it gives us a nice little ego boost, which, we do need.
A little hit of dopamine is lovely.
Yeah, a little shot in the arm. But until next week, see you then.
Bye.